Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to English with Ikram. In today's video, I'm going to talk about some very important tips to improve our pronunciation. And I have told you many times earlier in my previous video, this pronunciation is very much important if you want to convey your messages properly, if you want to communicate properly, especially the native speakers. And in today's video, these very important 10 tips will definitely help you to improve your pronunciation. What you are supposed to do, watch the video till the end, and at the end of the video, you have to practice all these very important tips for the improvement of your pronunciation. Okay, let's start. Tip number 1. You have to learn the movement of the organs of speech which are mainly involved in the articulation of sounds. These organs are lips, tongue, and our throat. These are the main organs which are involved in the utterances, in the articulation of our sounds. How can we produce a sound, and what is the function of our lips? Sometimes in the articulation of a sound, our lips are round. We have to produce this particular sound with round lips. For example, when we produce a sound O, the lips should be round, honest, water, wa. And sometimes our lips are spread, p, p. Sometimes our lips meet together by labial sound, p, m, b. So the movement of the lips are very much important in the articulation of sound. We have to learn, we have to be very much careful about the movement of the lips. The next organ of speech is tongue. Very important role is being played by tongue. Front part and the back part. And tip of the tongue touches different other parts of speech. Especially in the oral cavity, this tongue, it plays very important role in the articulation of different sounds. For example, when we produce a sound t, tip of the tongue touches the back part of the teeth. And sometimes it touches the hard palate, soft palate. So there are different movements. We have to learn all those movements. The next part of speech is, organ of speech is throat. What is the role of throat? Here are vocal cords. In the articulation of certain sounds, these vocal cords vibrate. If you put your finger over here, you can feel the vibration, the buzzing sound. And such sounds in English language are called voice sound. And sometimes in the articulation of certain sounds, these vocal cords don't vibrate. Such sounds are called voiceless sounds. And there are many rules on the basis of voiced or voiceless sounds. I will discuss in some other videos what is voiceless and what is voiced sound, and what are different rules on the basis of voiced and voiceless sounds. Okay. Now, tip number 2. You have to use mirror. You have to stand in front of the mirror and you have to see different movements of these organs of speech. How, when you produce a sound, how can your lips move? And what is the movement of the tongue? You have to identify different movements. Look into the mirror and practice different sounds. And repeat one sound again and again. For example, especially in the articulation of vowel sound, for example, the first sound is E. E. Look into the mirror and repeat this particular sound again and again. And for example, another vowel sound is A, O, A, O, O. Different sounds are produced. You have to look into the mirror and you have to notice what is the movement of different organs of speech in the articulation of a particular sound. So for practicing, you can just look into the mirror and identify the movements. This is another tip. The next tip is that record your voice. Record yourself. Record your voice and then listen to your voice and identify the mistakes. What are the mistakes that you are committing again and again? Identify your mistakes and then try to rectify. This is very important. Record your voice and then try to listen to your voice. And for example, you are repeating one mistake again and again, you can rectify that mistake while listening to your own voice. This is very important. अपनी आवाज को रिकॉर्ड करें, कोई भी पैराग्राफ पढ़ें, and then listen to your voice and then identify that what are the mistakes that I am committing, I am making again and again, and then you can rectify. आप अपनी उस mistake को, अपनी उस गलती को ठीक कर सकते हैं. Right? Sometimes unconsciously we are making a mistake. हमें समझ नहीं आ रही होती, हम ऐसी कोई मिस्टेक जो बार बार करते हैं, किसी साउंड को, पर्टिकुलर साउंड को हम सही तरीके से प्रोड्यूस नहीं करते. जब आप अपनी आवाज सुनेंगे, रिकॉर्ड करेंगे, डिफरेंट पैराग्राफ्स बार बार आप पढ़ें, रीड आउट करें और उनको जब आप सुनेंगे तो आपको समझ आएगी कि दिस पर्टिकुलर साउंड इज बीइंग मिसप्रोनाउंस्ड अगेन एंड अगेन. मैं इस साउंड को, इस वर्ड को मैं सही प्रोनाउंस नहीं कर रहा. So this is very important to record your voice and then listen to that voice again and again, right? Then tip number 4 is phone's voice texting. आपको शायद पता हो कि हम अपने वॉइस के जरिए फोन में मैसेज लिख सकते हैं, बोल के लिख सकते हैं. Instead of typing the message, you can record your messages by speaking into your phone. This is very important and very interesting one. आप अपने मोबाइल को सामने रख के वॉइस का ऑप्शन है, उस पर आप प्रेस करेंगे, क्लिक करेंगे, आप इंग्लिश में कोई भी चीज बोलेंगे तो obviously if your pronunciation is 100% correct, then you would be able to write that particular message. अगर आपकी pronunciation ठीक नहीं है तो ऑब्वियसली आप वहां पे जो टाइपिंग होगी वो गलत होगी. तो इस तरह इन ए वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग मैनर यू कैन इम्प्रूव योर प्रोनाउंसिएशन. फॉर एग्जांपल, आप कोई भी सेंटेंस बोल के आप मैसेज लिखना चाहते हैं, दिस इज अ कार. मे बी योर फोन वॉन्ट बी एबल टू गेट दिस सेंटेंस because your pronunciation is not up to the standard, up to the mark. आप देसी स्टाइल से अंग्रेजी बोल रहे हैं, हो सकते हैं आपका वॉइस मोबाइल का जो सिस्टम है उसको पिक ना करे. जब आप कहेंगे दिस इज अ खा, अब शायद और भी कोई वर्ड जैसे आप ऑनियन कहेंगे तो मे बी, क्योंकि इन ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश दिस वर्ड इज नॉट देयर. दिस इज इनकरेक्ट प्रोनाउंसिएशन. आई हैव डिस्कस्ड ऑलरेडी इन माय सम प्रीवियस वीडियोस. जब आप अनियन कहेंगे, प्याज को हम इंग्लिश में अनियन कहते हैं, देन यू विल बी एबल टू गेट दैट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अनियन. ऐसे जब आप टॉर्टाइज कहेंगे तो उसको समझ नहीं आएगी वॉइस रिकॉर्ड करते हुए. जब आप टॉर्टाइज कहेंगे तो उसको नहीं समझ सकेगा, उसको लिखने के काबिल नहीं होगा. बट व्हेन यू वुड से टॉर्टस, he will write that. So this is very interesting one that you have to just click the voice option and try to record your message by speaking into that. अब बोल के जब आप रिकॉर्ड करेंगे तो आपकी रिकॉर्डिंग अगर pronunciation up to the standard, up to the mark है, then you will be able to record. Otherwise वो गलत स्पेलिंग वहाँ पे लिखे जाएंगे, गलत वर्ड लिखे जाएंगे. Right? Number 5, tip number 5, IPA. This is very important. International Phonetic Alphabet. I have discussed in my last video. I will give the link, Sounds of English Language, down in this video. You have to watch that video. You have to practice what are different sounds of English language and what is consonant sound, what's the vowel sound. Total sounds are 44. And you have to be able to transcribe, write the symbol of each and every sound. This is IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. And if you are not well conversant with the IPA, you can never pronounce the word correctly. You can never consult a dictionary for the pronunciation of a sound. Because if you consult a dictionary, you will find certain symbols. These symbols are in accordance with IPA. जब आपको समझ नहीं आएगी कि इस वर्ड की प्रोनाउंसिएशन क्या है, आगे जो सिंबल लिखी हुई है इनका क्या मतलब है, then you won't be able to pronounce, to learn the pronunciation of a particular word. You have to learn IPA, 44 sound, the symbol, the utterances. This is very important. Otherwise, you can never pronounce a word correctly. You can never learn accurate pronunciation. Right? Then, the next technique is number 6, that is comparing different sounds. There are different sounds which are very much close to one another. You have to differentiate. You have to compare different sounds which are very much close to one another. For example, O and O. These are two very much close to one another sounds. Where do we say O and where O? For example, when we produce a sound, when we pronounce the word pot, honest, O sound is there. But when we say walk, our lips are round, but mouth is a bit more open as compared to O, walk, all the people. Then the difference between O and A, very slight difference. When we say all and when we say arm, my arm, all the students, so all and arm, there is a slight difference. In the same way, home and home, the correct pronunciation is home. Goat, vote, oh, diphthong is there. When we say home, it's incorrect pronunciation. Goat, incorrect. Go, incorrect. It's go. It's goat. It's vote. There are certain sounds which are very much close to one another. We have to compare these different sounds. We have to differentiate between the articulation of these different sounds. Then the next very important tip is stress. We have to learn the proper stress. What is stress? When we put some more force, and when we say a particular syllable louder with some more force, that is called stress. Whether it's a word stress or sentence stress, we have to learn both type of stresses. For example, here's the word conduct. If it's a noun, the stress is on the first syllable, conduct. But when this word is used in a sentence as a verb, it's conduct. The stress is on the second syllable. In the same way, the words permit. When the stress is on the first syllable, it's noun. When this word is used in a sentence as a noun, the stress would be on the first syllable. Permit. I have taken the permit of cutting a tree, or whatever the permit that you have taken. But when this word is used in a sentence as a verb, the stress would be on the second syllable. Permit. The principal had permitted the students to go out. There are different words where we have to be very much careful about the stress, whether it's on the first syllable or second syllable or which syllable the stress is there. We have to put the stress. And the stress is when we say a particular syllable with more force, a bit louder, that is called stress. Stress also plays very important role in pronunciation. Okay. Now, tip number 8, that's intonation, the music of a language. Intonation also plays very important role in pronunciation, and sometimes the meaning is totally changed. The same sentence, if you just change the intonation, rise and fall of your voice. Just by changing intonation, you can convey different messages. For example, a simple sentence, are you a teacher? Are you a teacher? It simply means a simple adjective sentence that I am just putting a simple statement. Are you a teacher? क्या आप teacher हैं? Sorry, it may be a question, for example. Are you a teacher? Are you a teacher? Now intonation is changed in the same sentence. It is some sarcastic statement. I am dubious, I am doubtful about the competence of a teacher. Are you a teacher? A simple positive sentence, you are a teacher. You are a teacher. Simple statement. I am making a simple statement. Just a positive statement. You are a teacher. Now I am putting some stress, rise of my tone. It is some sort of sarcasm. तंजिया तौर पे मैं कह रहा हूँ तुम टीचर हो. So rise and fall of your voice sometimes change the meanings. Intonation also plays very important role. The rise and fall of your voice, the music of the language. Okay. Number 9. Tip number 9. Contraction. What is contraction? When we shorten a particular word, the shortened form, the short form of a word, of different words. For example, I will. The shortened form, the contracted form is I'll. I have, I have been, I've been. He will, he'll. These are contractions. Contractions are also very important to improve, especially to make your pronunciation a bit attractive in spoken language. Contractions are also very much important. And the last one is very important, very interesting to improve your pronunciation. There's tongue twister. There are different tongue twisters. You can just Google and you will find different tongue twisters which are a bit hard to pronounce. But when you practice with the help of tongue twister, your pronunciation may improve very rapidly. For example, these tongue twisters are very much difficult. She sells seashells by the seashore. You have to say the sentence quickly. She sells seashore by the seashore. She sells seashell by the seashore. She sells seashell by the seashore. She sells, these are two sounds, sa sound and sha sound. For the practice of these two sounds, sa and sha, you can practice this tongue twister. There are many other tongue twisters for different sounds, for the practice of different sounds. You can just Google. They are a bit hard to practice, but with practice, you can be able to say such tongue twisters easily. She sells seashells by the seashore. She sells seashell by the seashore. Practice again and again, and then you will find a bit easier. The tongue twisters are very much interesting and very much hard, especially for me as well, for the practice of different sounds. Okay, these were some very important tips for the improvement of pronunciation. Practice with the help of these tips and you will definitely improve your pronunciation. And if you want to learn sounds, consonant sound, vowel sound, I will give the link in this video down. Watch those videos and then you will be able to improve your pronunciation. Thanks you.